The morning sky over Falcon Ridge Training Command was a cold gray, the kind that warned every recruit. This place will break you before it builds you. Emily Carter stepped off the transport truck, boots hitting the dirt like she was stepping into another world. The base sprawled across the valley. Barbed wire, watchtowers, obstacle courses carved into the earth, and drill instructors whose stares were sharp enough to cut steel. She had been preparing for this place for years. Running before sunrise, studying tactics while friends partied, pushing herself long after her body begged her to stop. But none of that prepared her for the silence that fell over the yard when the other trainees noticed her. "A new girl," someone muttered. "Another one who'll quit in a week. She won't last a day." Emily heard every word. She didn't flinch. She wasn't here to impress them. She was here to earn the right to wear the uniform. 2. The bullies of Bravo Squad. Bravo Squad was notorious. Not just tough, ruthless. A pack of overconfident, rule-breaking trainees who believed they were unstoppable because they'd dominated every sparring rotation so far. Their leader, Corporal Reed, tall, muscular, with the permanent smirk of someone who had never been challenged, spotted Emily from across the yard and grinned. "Looks like training just got entertaining," he said. Beside him, Jackson and Ruiz cracked their knuckles, amused. Emily kept her eyes forward. Reed stepped in front of her. "No offense, new girl, but this place eats weak recruits alive. You sure you walked into the right base?" Emily replied calmly, "I'm sure. But thank you for the concern, Corporal." Reed raised a brow. Jackson snickered. Ruiz muttered, "She talks." But then the instructors called everyone to the field, and the moment passed, temporarily. 3. The first test. Chief Instructor Harlow, bald, sharp-eyed, a Navy veteran who could silence a room with a breath, stood in front of the formation. "Today is combat condition day," he barked. "You will spar, you will get hit, you will hit back, and you will not quit." The trainees roared with adrenaline. Pairs were announced. Then Harlow pointed directly at Emily. "Carter, step forward." Whispers shot through the squad. "Watch her get folded. She's done." Harlow continued, "You will spar with Corporal Reed." Reed's grin widened like a wolf spotting its prey. Emily took her stance. She was nervous. No point denying it, but her breathing stayed steady. She had been punched before. She had been knocked down before. She had gotten back up every time. Harlow raised his hand. "Begin." 4. The knockout. It happened fast. Reed didn't test distance, didn't check technique, didn't show respect. He lunged with a full-strength punch meant to intimidate, but landed it clean on Emily's jaw. She dropped. Gasps echoed across the camp. For a moment, the entire world went black. Reed stepped back, shrugging. "What did you expect? She's not built for this." Jackson laughed. Ruiz clapped like he'd seen a comedy show. Harlow's jaw tightened. He opened his mouth to intervene. But someone else spoke first. A voice sharp as a blade. "Corporal Reed, step away from her, now." The camp froze. Lieutenant Mark Lawson, the Navy SEAL overseeing training rotations, walked toward the ring. A legend, a ghost, a man whispered about in stories recruits weren't sure were true. Reed straightened. "Sir, it was just a cheap shot." Lawson finished. "She never even fully squared up. And you struck her with full force." Reed swallowed. But Lawson wasn't done. "Get her medical assessment. When she wakes up, she chooses if she wants to continue sparring." "When she wakes up," someone muttered. But they underestimated the new girl all over again. Because Emily Carter woke up 50 seconds later. And she stood, without help, without hesitation, without fear. Reed actually took a step back. 5. The choice. Lawson approached her quietly. "You good?" he asked. Emily wiped the blood from her lip. "Yes, sir. You can sit out if you need to." Emily locked eyes with him, voice steady. "Sir, I'm not done." The watching trainees suddenly weren't laughing anymore. Lawson nodded once. "Then pick your opponent." Everyone expected her to choose someone easier. Emily lifted her chin at Reed. "Him." Reed blinked. "You're serious?" Lawson's grin was slight, but unmistakable. "Oh, she's serious." 6. The fight that shocked the camp. Reed raised his guard lazily, ready to dominate again. Emily circled him, reading him carefully this time. Lawson called out, "Begin." Reed threw the same punch as before. Fast, heavy, arrogant. But this time Emily moved. She slipped left, letting his fist glide past her shoulder. Her elbow cracked up into his ribs. Reed stumbled. Jackson's eyes widened. Ruiz cursed under his breath. Reed swung harder now, anger replacing strategy. Emily ducked, pivoted, struck. A clean palm heel strike into his sternum. Reed dropped to a knee, gasping for breath. But Emily didn't advance. She stepped back, letting him choose his next move. Reed groaned and pushed himself up again. "You little," he charged. Emily snapped forward. One step, one rotation, one clean strike. Her heel connected with his jaw. Reed hit the dirt. Silence. 20 seconds. That's all it took. Lieutenant Lawson finally broke the quiet. Fight over. 7. The aftermath. Reed wasn't seriously injured, just humiliated. Jackson and Ruiz avoided eye contact as Reed staggered to his feet. Lawson addressed Bravo Squad. Strength without discipline is weakness. Skill without humility is danger. And arrogance is failure. He looked at Emily. "Carter, outstanding recovery." Emily nodded. "Thank you, sir." Reed tried to protest. "She got lucky." Lawson turned sharply. "Lucky? She was unconscious less than a minute and still outperformed you." Carter showed heart. "You showed ego." Reed fell silent. Harlow stepped forward. "Bravo Squad, from now on you follow Carter's example, not Reed's." The shift in the squad's eyes said everything. The new girl wasn't a victim anymore. She was someone to respect. 8. The night that changed everything. That evening, after training ended, Emily sat alone at the bleachers overlooking the obstacle course. The sky bled orange where the sun dipped behind the hills. She was sore. Her jaw still throbbed, but she felt stronger than ever. Footsteps approached. Lieutenant Lawson sat beside her. "You know," he said, "most recruits would have quit this morning." "I'm not most recruits," Emily answered. "No," he agreed, "you're not." He looked across the empty yard. "You remind me of someone." "Who?" "A young SEAL who entered training with 2 broken bones from a car accident. Everyone told him he'd fail. He didn't." Emily narrowed her eyes. "You," Lawson smirked. "Let's just say I've learned a thing or two about standing back up." Silence settled comfortably between them, mentor and trainee, both refusing to stay down. Lawson finally stood. "Get some rest. Tomorrow isn't easier." Emily smiled faintly. "Wouldn't want it to be. 9. The turning point. Word spread across the entire base. The new girl got knocked out, and came back harder. Reed got rocked. Lieutenant Lawson backed her. Some recruits approached her with respect. Some with curiosity. Some with grudging admiration. But not everyone was impressed. Reed and his boys weren't done causing trouble. Not even close. And Emily Carter's real test hadn't even begun. 10. The final challenge. 2 days later, during the combat gauntlet, a brutal sequence of events including running, climbing, combat drills, hostage extractions, and team navigation, Bravo Squad was assigned a task. Move a 200-pound dummy across a 2-mile course through mud pits, fences, and trenches. Reed protested immediately. "She'll slow us down." Harlow cut him off. "She'll lead your team." Reed looked like he'd swallowed glass. Emily stepped forward. "What's the objective, sir?" "Get your team through intact. With discipline." The gauntlet began with a siren. Emily led from the front. Reed protested every order. "Why go through the trench? It's slower." Emily pointed. "Because the high route is exposed. It wastes energy." Jackson hesitated, but Ruiz said, "She's right." Reed growled and followed. At the rope climb, Reed tried to push ahead, but slipped and fell, nearly taking Jackson with him. Emily caught the rope, steadied it, and ordered. "One at a time. Slow as smooth. Smooth as fast." Even the instructors nodded in approval. By the time they reached the final stretch, carrying the heavy dummy across the mud, Reed was exhausted. He stumbled, fell, and face planted in the muck. Emily turned back immediately. "Help him up." Jackson and Ruiz hesitated. Emily barked. "Now." They obeyed. Together, they dragged Reed and the dummy to the finish line, with Emily pulling the heaviest share. When they crossed, Harlow blew the whistle. Bravo squad. First place. Reed stared at Emily. For the first time. Without anger. Without arrogance. Just humbled realization. You carried us, he said quietly. Emily shook her head. We carried each other. 11. The SEAL's lesson. That evening, Lawson called the squads into formation. You witnessed something rare today, he said. A recruit who was bullied, knocked unconscious, underestimated, and still chose leadership over revenge. He looked at Emily. Carter didn't win alone. She united a team that was falling apart. He faced the squad. That is military discipline. That is strength. Reed bowed his head. Lawson continued. Carter will be assigned as Bravo Squad's acting team lead for the rest of the cycle. Gasps, whispers, shock, but not one voice protested. Even Reed nodded. 12. The rise of Emily Carter. Emily stood at attention, heart pounding, not with fear, but pride. She had survived humiliation. She had endured pain. She had faced bullies who thought they were untouchable. And she had risen. Not because she was the strongest. Not because she was the fastest. But because she refused to stay down. Lawson stepped close and whispered so only she could hear. Welcome to the fight, Carter. You've earned your place. Emily saluted. And the entire squad saluted with her. If you want to see even better stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment, and press the bell icon for more updates.